kidding, but that's awfully nice of you. The compliment showed she had a mind in her, and when I smiled, I almost blinded
Tiger
her.
Woods not ready for the Masters, Johnny Pallet? Oh my God. He's never missed a tournament before.
Yeah, he's never missed the Masters. Well, I think he'll find a way to play that one, but apparently he's got a real issue with herniated disc, and he's getting treatment, but doesn't seem to really be responding. But I think he'll find a way for the Masters.
He withdrew from the Honda. Then he withdrew in the last round of the Doral. What's it called now? The Trump?
Cadillac Championship.
He withdrew.
No, he didn't withdraw. He had back. It flared up.
He packed it in on the fourth day at Honda.
Right.
And then he finished the
WGC Cadillac Championship.
right. And then he.
Let's start over again. He withdrew from the Honda at the last day, right?
Right.
Okay. And at the Doral, his back flared up on the last round.
And he shot a 78.
78. And then he didn't even play the Bay Hill Invitational, which is called the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Right. Well, he usually skips the tournament at Tampa.
Right.
Which was called what was it called this year? It was the Valspar, I think it was.
Yeah.
And but then he called Arnie and said, I think on the Monday before the tournament, his back was not ready for play, so he skipped Arnie's tournament.
Those are 3 tournaments where he usually plays very well. The Honda, at Doral, and then how many times has he won out at Bay Hill? 7, 8, 9 times.
I think 8 times.
Wow, met everyone.
So he loves that Bay Hill course.
Yep. Well,
but I think he'll find a way to. Be hard to imagine him not playing in the Masters, but I guess none of us have any inside information. But apparently, it's a troubling situation.
All right, so we'll get to golf a little later, but we need to talk about what's going on in college basketball. What's going on? Yes,
8 wins for Tiger at Bay Hill.
8 wins at wow, that's a lot for. And he's been this is 20, I thought I heard 22nd year on the tour, or 21st year on the tour, something like that.
Since '96.
So what's that? How many years is that?
18.
18. Oh, well, I went too much. 21, 22. 18 years on the tour, and for him not to play, saying that he's not going to play in the Masters is something that you got to say, whoa, right?
Yeah, I mean, he must really be back must really be giving him trouble to skip the Masters. I'm sure that's got to be probably his favorite tournament. That was his first major, so.
Yep.
So.
And he won in dominant fashion that first
yeah,
time.
yeah, he blew the field away on that one.
Dominant fashion. But like I said, we'll get to golf a little later, John, and then we got to get into the college basketball right away because we have a lot to talk about. We're in the Sweet 16. Last week we did a 5-hour show, and we did our brackets. Everybody, and I'm doing horrible. I don't know how you guys are doing. Deal, how are you doing? Bad. Johnny Pallet.
Maybe a little bit better than horrible.
And Troy Hall is doing okay because he has your Final Four teams are still alive.
Final Four is still there.
Yep. And you were 22 wins and 10 losses in the first round. I did the research yesterday. A couple games here we need to talk about because there were games that you picked, like, for example, that VCU game over Stephen F. Austin. And Stephen F. Austin, what the hell happened there, Troy? How the hell did they beat VCU?
The game was close at the end. They made a run, and they were able to pull out a close game.
Yeah.
They were able to handle VCU's pressure. And, they're obviously a pretty good team at least. They only had 2 losses. I know they didn't play anybody, but I expected VCU to be able to beat them. Didn't happen.
And there's also a couple other games we need to talk about, but we're gonna get to the picks. We're gonna pick games. We're gonna do all 16 games. What happened?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We're gonna pick all 16 games.
8 games.
Is it 8 games? There's 16 teams left. I'm sorry. There's 16 teams left. There's 8 games. We're gonna pick all 8 games, and then we're gonna move on and see how far Troy's I think out of all 4. Well, there's 4 of us in this room here. Troy's bracket is probably the best out of all 4, right, Troy?
Yeah, I think as far as who has the most teams left, Dio's got some pretty good picks early on, but he's missing 2 of the Final Four now.
Yeah.
And that, those are usually worth a lot of points down the end.
There's 2 years in a row where the I mean, after the first weekend, I was screwed.
Kansas and Duke.
I think you were the only
They
one that
hurt
picked
you.
Mercer.
Yes.
Mercer. Yeah.
He might have been the only
Like
person that
Mercer.
picked. Well, him and like
And
3
the
other
country.
people in the world, because it wasn't until the Memphis game where all the brackets were no longer perfect.
Yeah, there's some girl, I think, that was still alive. She got eliminated on the Memphis game.
Ooh,
G Dub knocked her out.
G-Dub. And that's a
I liked G-Dub.
He did. All right,
They
so
should have won.
they should have won. Okay, real quick, it's Florida, UCLA, Dayton, Stanford, Virginia, Michigan State, Iowa State, Connecticut, surprisingly, Michigan, Tennessee, Louisville, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Baylor, San Diego State, and Arizona are the teams that are in the Sweet 16. And we're going to get to all the games. Those are your brackets there, Troy.
Yep.
You don't have yours with you?
No, I know my picks.
You
I'm
know by
looking
heart.
at locations here.
Locations.
Games played. Like, for example, UConn's playing in the Garden. They like that.
That's huge.
Huge for them against Iowa State.
Huge. Even though I think I had Iowa State going to the Final Four on my brackets. But Troy Hall's in the house. Johnny Pallett's in the house. And producing the show, as always, Dio Garcia is in the house. We're in the studios here in Hollywood, Florida. SoFloRadio.com is the website you need to log on to listen, either to listen to us or watch us on Ustream. And if you're listening on your phone, what are the apps again? Tune in.
Tune in.
And what's the other one?
Radio Loyalty.
Radio Loyalty. And there's one more. There's 3 of them, right?
No. We dumped the third one.
We
They're a
dumped the
piece-
third one.
Screw them.
Screw them. So, Radio Loyalty and TuneIn are the 2 apps. If you're listening on your phone, if you're at home,
Just search SoFlo.
or search SoFlo, or if you're at home, go on your, what are these fancy little things called again?
iPad.
iPad,
Tablets.
and I
Tablets.
still haven't got an iPad. I got my laptop. Just log on to SoFloRadio.com and then click on where it says John Etch and the Sports Heads, and you will see us live on Ustream, or you can just
You can
listen.
get the Ustream app and search SoFlo. And also
Oh,
see
really?
us. Yes.
Wow. Okay. So you could go get the Ustream app and search SoFloRadio.com, and you could see us right there live and direct. All right. First round. Where do we start here? Couple. Well, let's start with the games that you weren't correct with, Troy, because let's get those out of the way. Overall, you were 22 wins, 10 losses in the first round, and that's
Better
pretty
than
good.
Troy.
That's pretty good. The Stephen F. Austin over VCU, we talked a little bit about that. I don't know if you want to elaborate a little more on that game.
I really don't. I mean, there was possibility. Obviously, it was a 5-12 game. Stephen F. Austin is a pretty good team. Only lost twice, so.
That was a
I
team
just,
we were
I just
clowning
thought the
that team.
defensive pressure of VCU would have got to him a little bit more, and I think they did a pretty good job defensively on him for most of the game. But then, Stephen F. Austin seemed to, down the stretch, they seemed to answer the bell better than VCU did, and I expected that to be the opposite.
All right. How about the Stanford beating New Mexico?
That one I didn't expect at all. I expected, Stanford was coming off like a 25-point beatdown from UCLA in their conference tournament. I expected New Mexico to come out, especially last year after flopping first round. This is the second year in a row now New Mexico has lost first round. I think Harvard got them last year, and I didn't see that happening at all.
Jimmy Robinson, I know he's listening right now. He picked Stanford to beat New Mexico. That was one of his he called it a 5-star special, whatever he called it. He had Stanford beating New Mexico. How about Memphis and G-Dub? I think I even had G-Dub on my bracket. Memphis beat
Did you
George
bring your
Washington.
bracket?
I threw it away. I burned it because I'm doing very, very bad, very bad, very bad.
How many of your Final Four are left?
I think just 2. Yeah, I lost 2 of them
Yeah,
too.
you're in the same boat as me.
Yeah. Memphis, George Washington, Troy, what you see in that game? You had George Washington.
I had G-Dub, and, Memphis is very sporadic. They're streaky team. They don't necessarily lock teams down defensively. I thought G-Dub's balance, and they have a great coach, and I figured, they'd come up with a game plan and pull out a close one over Memphis, but it didn't happen. Memphis was hitting shots, And they looked in control pretty much the whole game too, and that surprised me. They deserved to win the game. They beat them all over the court.
58-53 was the score of Stanford over New Mexico. George Washington loses 71-66 over Memphis. The next game that was very surprising. Well, I don't want to say very surprising because there was a lot of guys that had Harvard to beat Cincinnati, but you had Cincinnati, Troy. Tell us about that game. What happened in that game?
I had Cincy, and Harvard deserved to win that one too. Cincy wasn't hitting at all. Harvard was taking it to the 10.
You had Harvard. You had Harvard.
Yes,
too?
I did.
I don't. I didn't. I had Cincinnati.
Yeah, remember he goes, really, Harvard?
Yeah.
A
Nailed
lot of people liked Harvard.
Pally
too.
had Cincinnati, right? Pally?
Yeah, I had Cincinnati.
I just didn't see that happening, and in the game, I was just surprised. I mean, you figure Harvard is a smart team, obviously, and
Obviously.
it's Cincinnati kind of surprised, but I mean, they actually looked stupid during the game. I mean, they looked confused. They were
Offensively,
Harvard was
challenged.
They were getting they're offensively challenged. They have a history of that, but defensively, they lock teams down. Harvard's shown the ability to score, but their level of competition has not been very good all year. Obviously, they won last year in the first round of the tournament, and I think they might have even won the second round, didn't they? Did they go 2 rounds last year?
Yeah, they went to the Sweet 16 last year.
They went to the Sweet 16. So, obviously, they have a good coach, and I was just surprised how many easy buckets they were getting, like down the lane, and that's just a great coaching job to be able to spread them out enough to – because I've watched Cincinnati a lot of times this year, and when Jackson's sitting there in the middle, nobody's taking it down the lane and getting buckets. And they were able to draw him out of there, and they were getting easy buckets there. And Cincinnati continued their offensive struggles, and Kilpatrick didn't have one of his better games. And
How long has
Harvard
Tommy
beat 'em.
Amaker been there? Second year, third year?
No more than that. He's
Yeah.
been there. He's been there a while now. He's got to have been there maybe 5 years.
And he was under Coach K, right, for a couple years. Well, man, not a couple years.
Yeah, and then he went up to.
He's been there since
Michigan.
2007.
Tommy Amaker's been there since 2007.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
so
was
it's
an assistant
6,
coach
7 years.
with
6, 7 years.
Coach K from 1988 to 1997. Then he went to
Yep.
Seton Hall as their head coach from 97 to 2001. Then was the head coach of Michigan from 2001 to 2007.
Yep.
And he's been at Harvard since then.
I saw Rod Strickland, assistant coach for Kentucky, under Calipari. Rod Strickland, remember Rod Strickland?
Yeah,
He played in the NBA for
interesting.
many teams. And
For
he
the
played,
Heat.
Yeah, he played with the Heat, yeah. And then he
Yeah.
played at DePaul in college. So those guys, those assistant coaches, they spend many years. And I saw, who else did I see that was an assistant coach that's just been rotting not rotting on the bench, but he's just been learning and learning and learning and learning, and then until he gets his opportunity. You think Wojciechowski and Jeff Capel, are they waiting for Coach K to retire, or they're just waiting for an opportunity to coach at, wherever
Either
there's an
or.
opening? Either or.
Either or. I mean, you got to take what's thrown at you. I
Yeah.
know right now there's a situation at Syracuse where Mike Hopkins is always, his name's brought up a lot. He's the coach in waiting up there when Boeheim goes, but Marquette is rumored to have a lot of interest in him. And I think who's the other team with an opening? Boston College.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors about that. as
I'm
well.
surprised Buzz went to VodTech. What was that all about?
Buzz with the Fatech?
Buzz
Buzz
went
Williams.
to VodTech. It's a BCS conference, major conference, and the big boys are there. And honestly, there's really no way to go but up for Virginia Tech, wouldn't you say right now?
But
They're
isn't
pretty
Marquette a better
horrible.
basketball school?
They are, but that's the thing. I mean, you can't do any worse than Virginia Tech already is. And the money's definitely got to be there better, but it's a BCS conference. I mean, you're playing the big dogs. Marquette now has lost all the big dogs from their conference, and they've got just the smaller schools in the conference. Not to say they're not good basketball teams, but it's a larger scale when you go to Virginia Tech, and the ceiling is a lot higher for what you can accomplish. And I think that's
I think
why
you
he
could
left.
recruit better at Marquette than Virginia Tech, though.
I think he can recruit anywhere, His name and his personality is what gets his guys in there.
I was so puzzled when I was watching that CBS pregame show and I saw Buzz Williams there, and he had a VT pin. I was like, did I miss something?
That day, yeah.
I'm sure he's getting paid a little more than he is at
Like
Marquette.
he's getting a little bit more. I wouldn't say it's astonishingly more, but I understand the move. I understand it, with all the conference realignment going on and what the ACC is now.
Well, they said something about
Got him in their
Marquette doesn't have an
conference.
athletic director anymore. So there's a lot of chaos going on within the athletics at at Marquette. So that's possibly why he moved over to Virginia Tech. But, I don't see that as an upgrade in terms of basketball.
The thing is, the ceiling is higher. If you want to go someplace and take over a job, you don't want to take over after Coach K leaves Duke. I mean, that'd be nice. So you can recruit anyone you want there, but it's more of a challenge when the team's a bottom feeder. Virginia Tech was as bad as it got. I mean, I think in conference they only won
Two games.
two games, and they're
Canes
both
whipped
against
them, right?
Miami.
Well, they lost against them one time. They
Yeah,
won
Both
twice.
times.
They lost twice against NC
Their
State.
only
I mean,
wins in the
Virginia Tech.
conference were over Miami.
Oh,
That's it.
twice.
That's it.
And they almost beat him in the ACC tournament.
They beat nobody else except Miami. So I mean, there's nowhere to go but up. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy's coming in and he'll be able to get players. He just can. He's a coach he's got a personality to him, and he'll get his guys that are drawn to him. So I think they're obviously going to improve with him. He's a good basketball coach.
Yeah, he's a great basketball coach. I just think when you leave Marquette, you go for a better school than Virginia Tech.
Yeah, but why? Why would you want a better school when you can go somewhere? There's no way you could do worse. There's no way. And you have everything you need. You're in one of the top conferences. This year, a lot of people consider the ACC to have a down year basketball-wise, when you consider Duke and North Carolina and Syracuse and whatnot. But next year, you're talking about Louisville and Pitt.
Ooh.
Well, Pitt's in there now. Louisville and who else is joining them next year with Louisville? It's not UConn,
I
is
think
it?
it's just Louisville. For now.
I think there's one more. I should know this, and I don't. It's frustrating me.
All right,
We'll
the
find out.
next game, while Dio's finding out what's going on there, you had Providence over North Carolina. North Carolina wins 79-77. Troy Hall. What'd you see in that game?
Game made me sick too. I thought Providence had them. They did have them.
Mm-hmm.
There's two games that made me sick. St. Joe's blew
Oh.
it against UConn, and
We'll get to that
and
game. Yeah.
Providence too just made me sick. They had them beat, and Carolina came over. They had a high ball screen up top. The guy Page, he drilled a 3, and then they
And Dio Garcia on the 1s and 2s. I'm John Edge. Keep it locked. Don't you dare move.
More of John Itch and the Sports Heads next.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. The only thing I didn't learn in school today is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. You can't see it either. Get leftovers into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
CBC5 is the executive liaison for all your building compliance needs. Serving South Florida from the Palm Beaches to Key West, CBC5 delivers 5-star service that brings
What's this ABC or BDQ or whatever?
CBC5. It stands for Complete Building Compliance.
Well, I ain't building nothing, so what can they do for me?
Well, they do more than plan review and permitting. They help the little guy cut through red tape.
I got duct tape holding together my carport.
Well, CBC5 can help. Let them deal with bureaucrats. They helped George Rodriguez solve a sewer lateral problem, and they saved him a ton of money and hassles.
Fight City Hall, who can do that?
CBC5 can do that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a commercial to finish. Contact Shoddy the Hottie at CBC5 786-255-3851 or log on to cbc5.net. That's cbc5.net.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait, hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy, busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew.
Wait. Mom, what?
What? Hold
What'd you say?
Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. You can't see it either. Get leftovers into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Monday nights will never be the same. Silverman on Sports invades SoFloRadio.com. Join Bruce Silverman and his cast of characters as they take on the world of sports every single Monday night from 7 to 9 here at SoFloRadio.com. Don't miss a minute of the show.
Now, back to John Edge and the Sports Heads
John Edge and the Sports Heads.
on SoFloRadio.com.
It's a great basketball school, and our student body, everybody. It's good to be around here right now. They deserve it for all the support they've given. It's undying support of our program, well, not just today, but forever. Well, anytime you get ready to play at this time of year, you're dealing with a good team. They got great personnel. They have great size, and it's going to be a difficult challenge for us. And it's fun to be involved in this. It's also a tremendous amount of time and work that goes into it, and you're exhausted, but at the same time, it's the adrenaline that kind of pushes you forward.
All right, we're back. Sports Head Show on SoFloRadio.com. Log on, listen to us. We're going through our Troy Hall's bracket. We're in the second round, but technically it's the third round, right, Deal?
No, it's the second round.
Okay.
I mean, technically, yeah, you're right.
The playing games are considered the first round.
I don't like
Which
it.
is crap.
I don't like it. You want to call that the playing games?
I think it's crap anyways. How do they have a good teams like Tennessee in the play-in games? If they're in, they're in. Put some of these
NC
automatic...
State and Xavier? Like,
Put-
what are they doing?
Put some of these automatic qualifiers in the play-in round, and the winners of those should be a 16 seed. What are they having a play-in game, and then they come in and they're an 11?
All 16 should
It
be
doesn't
a
make any
playing game.
sense.
All 16 should be a playing game.
Yeah,
All of them.
NC State won their playing game. They were 12th.
And they should have beat St. Louis.
They should have beat.
Had a 16-point lead.
But the guy that you're already freaking cursing him, T.J. Warren, hasn't even stepped his foot on the NBA court yet, and you're saying he's going to be garbage.
I'm not saying he's garbage.
Jesus
Just saying he's
Christ.
not going to make it. He's not going to have an impact. He's going to be a role player.
Oh, my God. Theo's cursing him already. All right, let's move in technically to the third round.
Round of 32. Let's just say that.
All right, the round of 32s. Let's see here. Florida-Pittsburgh. Florida wins 61-45, Troy Hall.
That was a beatdown.
Yeah, Florida beat them up pretty good.
Yeah.
Patterson, choke job. Lamar Patterson, 8 points.
That's Scotty Wilbekin.
Supposed to be their stud, and he forgot to show up. So Florida really locked them down defensively, and that was really the story. It's not like Florida blew up offensively. They scored 61 points, but they only gave up 45. So
you had both those teams winning, Pittsburgh and Florida, their first games, and Florida wins 61-45. The next game, SF Austin.
Stephen F. Austin.
Losing against UCLA, 77-60.
Bruins smoked them.
Boom.
Smoked them. No chance, no contest. Too much talent.
Take UCLA straight up this weekend.
Now, this is a game that's going to hurt talking about it, Troy, because you're a big Orangeman fan since you were out of the womb.
Yeah.
Your dad's probably listening, and
this goes out to Donald.
Crushed too. Yeah, going out to Donald. Sorry, my condolences to the Syracuse Orangemen, but they lose 55-53. Before the show even started, we were down having a couple, and we were saying that was that a premature shot? They're trying to win the game there.
Yeah. I think the story of the game is Syracuse 0 for 10 from 3-point range.
Whoa.
0 for 10. And also on top of that, if you look at, to me, everyone says Tyler Ennis is the key to Syracuse. And for me, Jeremy Grant's a huge part of it. He had 4 points. It's the worst game he played all year. I don't know if his back was bugging him or if that's just an excuse. That's the worst game I saw him play all year. 0 for 10. Second to last possession, when Ennis had the ball, pulls up for a jump shot. He'd been taking it to the hole the previous 3 possessions and got baskets or fouls. So Boeheim was puzzled by that decision. I was puzzled by it as soon as I saw it. That's what was said by the people around me, and then at the end of the game, he had a good look from 3, and he said he thought it felt
it looked good. Yeah, it looked good.
He said I thought it was good. It felt good when it left my hands, and I thought it was good all the way till it came out. So that's the difference in these games. Sometimes you either make it or you don't from the buzzer beater, but at least he had the balls to shoot it.
You had Cuse going to this Week 16. Yeah.
Yep.
Here's Boeheim talking about that final shot.
Let's do it.
The last shot was a great shot. I mean, that was the right play. Chance to win the game. You don't have enough time to get to the basket.
Right play?
But you cut it off before he said the rest of it.
Oh, no, I didn't cut it off. That wasn't my fault.
That was
what did he say? What was the rest of it?
He criticized his shot before that.
Oh,
the jumper.
yeah.
Said, I don't know why. I don't know why he took that, because we'd gotten baskets the last 3 possessions, taking it to the hole.
Yeah.
So he did say that.
He would have gotten fouled. Well, I don't know, but he would have gotten fouled, or at least made the shot, I think, driving to the basket.
Oh, either one. They had no answer for him.
Yeah.
He was playing terrific.
And they had him spread out, too. There was nobody who was in position for help defense. The lane was wide open.
There was a big guy on him.
Yeah.
It's a 6'7" dude who couldn't move. And he didn't blow past him. You know what it is?
Over.
No matter what, no matter the talent, freshmen are freshmen.
I disagree, because Jerry McNamara and Carmelo Anthony weren't freshmen. Neither was Never Nervous Purvis.
How far do you have Cuse going in your bracket there, Johnny
For
Pallet?
Louisville.
I had Cuse, I think, going to the
Sweet 16.
Well,
you had them.
Well, I had him going against
Florida,
Kansas,
right?
And I would have gone with Kansas there.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, your champion's out.
No, I still got Florida.
Wait, but how do you have Louisville and Kansas?
No, I had
No, you had
Syracuse.
Oh,
I
Syracuse.
had Syracuse and Kansas, and then I would have gone Kansas, Florida, but I'm still sticking with Florida.
Man, that was a matchup I wanted to see, too. I wanted to see Florida play Syracuse.
Oh.
I would have thought that would have been a...
I would have rather see Florida play
would've been
Syracuse
great.
or Kansas, not what we're gonna have now, which is Dayton or Stanford.
Never know the way this tournament's going.
I want
You may have
Florida to
one-
go down to UCLA this weekend.
Stanford beats Kansas 60-57. 10-2. Troy Hall.
Well, Kansas is missing their big man. Stanford's coach, Johnny Dawkins, coaching Stanford now. Pretty good defensive game plan.
Another
he
Coach
had.
K disciple.
Yep. They have some pretty big players. They were switching back and forth from man. They were playing 2-3 zone. Stanford just they were shutting down Kansas offensively. Kansas usually scores a lot more than 57 points, so to hold them to that is pretty good.
Wiggins 1 for 6, 4 points.
Yeah,
and he's gonna what's he gonna be the number 1 pick?
I think he should be. I think he should be the number 1 pick because he's ready to play defense in the NBA, and none of these other guys are. They're liability all over the court. Jabari Parker, complete liability in there.
What about Grant from Syracuse?
I hope he's coming back. And Ennis. Send him back, please.
You think Ennis is ready for the NBA?
No.
He's gonna pull what the guy from Miami did. What's the kid's name last year?
It's a weak point
Shane
guard.
Larkin,
The thing is, it's a weak point guard group as far as the NBA. Just about everyone I've seen has him in the top 15, and the worst was 18. I saw him
Ennis?
in mock drafts.
I mean, these guys.
Grant, they've got him top 15 in every mock.
Yeah, Grant's a lottery pick.
Yeah,
I've seen.
These guys, I understand that the college, they
Ennis is wise beyond his years.
Yeah, the college teams make money off these kids, it's clear, but these kids don't take advantage of the fact that they're in college and they have every opportunity to grow and develop as a player. So by the time they go pro, they're at the top of their game, and they just don't see that opportunity. And I think a lot of these guys can really, really take advantage of it, including the top 2 in Andrew Wiggins and Jabari Parker.
For what it's worth, Ennis will come back. He's
I
not
hope
going to
so.
go. He's not going to go.
And
He's,
the thing is, these coaches care about
they'll
these
stay.
kids. They really do. They want to see them get better. In the pros, they don't care about you. You either contribute for the pay that they're giving, or bye-bye.
Yeah.
Or
this
see you later.
This kid's got a really good. There was a really good article written about him and his upbringing, and he's a Canadian kid. He played with Wiggins in AAU, and
that's a scary team.
Phew. Some of those AAU teams, and you read these articles and who's on them, and you're just like, wow.
I think
there's a lot.
I think Kevin Durant and Kevin Love played on the same AAU team.
I forgot to point out some very important guys in the Sweet 16 in the South region here. Florida versus UCLA, Dayton over Stanford. Dayton versus Stanford. They're going to be playing in Memphis, Tennessee. Virginia beat Memphis 78-60, and Michigan State beat Harvard 80-73. And I'll let you talk about those games. Let me finish. 85-83, Iowa State over North Carolina, and Connecticut over Villanova 77-65. And you pointed out earlier, Troy, that this game here is going to be this region here. The East region is going to be playing in New York City,
Madison Square Garden.
Connecticut looks like they're going to be playing at home, maybe.
Yeah, huge home court advantage over Iowa State, UConn in this one, and Iowa State's limping in there. They had their forward get a busted foot. I like UConn to beat them in the Garden.
Wow,
they love the Garden. Even though Iowa State's, they got Melvin Ejim and DeAndre Kane, the transfer from Marshall, they hit the big shot to advance them. Those two guys are as good as any two guys any team has in the country, without a doubt. But UConn loves the Garden, and they play lights out in the Garden, and the crowd, I think, is going to be behind them 100%.
1 point underdog. So, well, we know that, like you were saying earlier, that these spreads might probably going to change. But now, according to the Miami Herald, they're 1 point underdog.
Let's see
at home against Iowa State.
Right now, Iowa State's a 2-point favorite.
Wow, it went up. See?
Yeah, they're going to keep changing come
for sure.
Come game time.
Yep, and I like everyone's looking forward to this Louisville-Kentucky matchup, but I'm looking forward to Michigan State,
Virginia. That's going to be a good game.
That's the best matchup to me in this whole shindig. UVA and Michigan State, they know how to play defense.
Florida UCLA should be a good game.
That's another game that's only a 1 point. Maybe it's different than where you got a deal, but Michigan State's favored by 1 over Virginia.
It's an interesting matchup, but
two now.
UCLA doesn't defend, and they're inconsistent there. But they blew through. I mean, they blew out Arizona to win the conference tournament. They are hot.
Who are you liking that game, Virginia or Michigan State?
I like Michigan State, but tight, real tight. What
You like
down
Michigan State to
down
cover
the
too?
stretch? I like Michigan State's their experience, their coaching, and I like Izzo over. I just think they have the coaching edge. Appling's been there forever as a guard. Virginia's got veteran players too, but I see Michigan State pulling it out late. Yeah, they've got a big man they can dump the ball down into, and the kid hits foul shots. He went 17 for 17 in the first round at the stripe, Adrian Payne. They got the total team. And Michigan State doesn't have a single player on their team that shoots under 35% from three-point range.
All right, so you like Michigan State and you like UConn. Since we're doing picks, I guess we'll do the pick
Yeah, why
in the
not?
South region. Florida and UCLA. What's the spread in that game, Deal? Florida, UCLA.
Florida is a 4.5-point favorite.
Troy?
Are we going who's going to win in advance or who is going to cover, or both?
Let's do both. Well, let's more importantly, who's
I
going
like
to cover?
I like Florida to win and cover.
Okay.
Over UCLA, because UCLA, I don't see them being able to defend when it comes down the stretch. I like Florida to pull way down the stretch.
Johnny Pallet, Florida, UCLA.
Florida.
UCLA straight up.
Straight. They're going to win the game outright?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I don't see Florida's defense being enough in this game.
I like Florida because I got them winning it all, but whatever. Dayton and Stanford, what's the line on that game? Up-to-date line here?
Stanford is a 3-point favorite.
Troy?
3-point favorite, and I like them to win and cover over Dayton.
Deal.
I like Dayton. I think they ride this hot streak
Cinderella
and they go to the Elite Eight, but they'll ultimately lose to UCLA.
Two teams there that, I think, not Troy, but a lot of people had Dayton losing either to Syracuse either to Ohio State or Syracuse.
I don't like neither one of these teams' offense.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're both good, but I like the way Dayton's playing, man. They're a tough team.
This game's a coin flip for me, so whoever wins. Stanford
Pick
or
one.
Dayton.
You got to make
I'm
picks.
going with Stanford.
This show's tagline is you got to make picks.
Well, I'm going Stanford because they've shown the ability. They play 2-3 zone. Syracuse threw the 2-3 at Dayton. Dayton wasn't scoring either. It's one of the worst.
Look who Stanford
one of the
beat.
worst
Look who
games
Stanford
I've
beat.
ever
They beat New
watched.
Mexico and they beat freaking Kansas.
Look who you Dayton beating.
Ohio State and
Syracuse.
Syracuse. Yeah. Wow.
Come on. You can't use that argument in this one.
Pallet, who you like, Stanford or Dayton?
I like the Cardinal.
The Stanford Cardinal. All right.
I like the Flyers just because of the name.
You're the only one that's picking Dayton.
I like them. So far, when I'm the only one making this pick, it works out for me.
I got to write these down. Where's my pen at? All right, so Florida is Troy Hall likes Florida. You like Stanford, and you like Michigan State.
Yep, Michigan State to
over
win.
Virginia, and you like UConn.
Oh,
over
we
Iowa
haven't
State.
gone over those yet.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we didn't go over Michigan. We just said he liked them, but we didn't like the
Michigan State to cover. It's 2 points.
Michigan State's getting 2. Giving 2.
Pallet, Michigan State, Virginia.
Michigan State.
Michigan State. I like Michigan State.
I got
too.
Michigan State winning it all, so you know where I'm going.
Iowa State and UConn. I like that philosophy you're going with there, Troy Hall. UConn at the Garden.
Connecticut's getting 2.
Imagine Villanova playing at the Garden. That's sort of a home game too, right?
It would
if
have
they would
been
have won
over
Any of
Iowa
those former
State.
Big
Yeah.
East teams.
Yeah.
Iowa State, yeah. But UConn, there's nothing like watching
Right.
a UConn, a St. John's, a Syracuse. There's
Villanova.
nothing like watching those teams in the Garden when they're playing against somebody from out of town.
Got him.
It's going to be sold out, and it's going to be, I believe, Michigan State's going to be playing at like 10 at night Friday.
Woo!
The
9:55.
Garden's going to be rocking
9:55.
for all those
Saturday,
games.
Thursday or Friday.
It's the 28th, so that'll be Friday.
Okay. Johnny Pallet, UConn, Iowa State.
I'm going with Iowa State.
Iowa State. I like UConn. How
The
about
mayor. I'm going with the mayor.
You going with the
Fred
mayor, Freddie
Hoiberg.
Hoiberg, yeah.
I like Connecticut.
Like Connecticut too.
Getting to 2.
All right, let's move on to the next region here in the Sweet 16. Arizona beat Gonzaga 84-61. San Diego State beat North Dakota State 63-44. What is the point spread? Arizona, San Diego State. Deal.
Arizona's giving 7.5.
Woo.
That's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. I like Arizona winning and cover.
Arizona winning
cover
cover.
7.5. I think they'll
Give me the
take-
fist pump.
they'll take Thames. They'll take Xavier Thames out of there, and I like Arizona to cover and to just smash them. San Diego State's strength is defense, but Arizona can D up. They could score. Total package, I like them.
Deal. Arizona to cover 7.5.
I like Arizona to win. I like San Diego State to cover.
I like that same one too. That's a lot of points, 7.5.
I mean, I really like that big kid though out of Arizona, whose name escapes me now.
John Pulaski.
No, well, that's close. It ends with a ski.
It is. It begins with a T. It's
what's his name?
Tarzuski.
Zuwazowski.
There he is. That's my guy.
Rob
I love that
Tarzuski.
kid. I really do. I like the way he plays.
Johnny Ace Pallet, Arizona, San Diego State.
I'm going with the Cats.
You're going with the Cats. All right.
To cover?
7.5.
Yeah, they're going to cover too.
Wow.
They got the best defense in the country.
All right, these games are this West Region Sweet 16. They're gonna be playing in Anaheim, California. Baylor beat Creighton. Wow. And what was the philosophy that the Great White Hope or McDermott that the NCAA is gonna make them go all the way to Final Four and all this and that, but they get crushed 85-55. Baylor 6 over Creighton, number 3. What'd you see in that game, Troy? And before you answer that question, Wisconsin beat Oregon 85-77. Point spread: Baylor, Wisconsin, please.
Wisconsin's giving 3.5.
Giving 3.5. What'd you see in that Creighton game? Them getting crushed like that. Was that surprising to you?
Just smush. Creighton's one of those teams. They either match up real well against you or they don't.
Bad.
Yeah.
And that was not a good matchup, obviously, for them. Baylor's got the total. They've got the inside. They've got the outside. They can defend. They can do everything. They were a team that was stone cold the first half of the season, and they really turned it up at the end. Baylor's a team you can't mess with, but I don't like them in this game because they do use a 1-3-1 defense. They do switch it up a bit, but Wisconsin's got shooters, but not just shooters. They've got guys who are tall. They're long shooters. They're very fundamentally sound. I don't see Baylor turning them over like they've turned over some of these other teams. I like Wisconsin to win and cover.
What happened?
Baylor.
Belmont? You picked Belmont?
I picked Belmont to cover, and I nailed it.
What was the final?
73-68 Clemson.
Wow.
Nailed it.
7, right? Where'd they get?
Yep.
Yeah.
You mean Belmont won?
Belmont covered.
No, they
Belmont covered. Okay.
but lost.
Totally nailed that one. Nailed that at the Burns.
He should be giving up picks.
Told you guys.
I thought the line would have been 4.5, not 7.
Baylor, Wisconsin, deal.
I like Baylor.
I like Baylor too.
I like. I watched that Baylor game. Boy, they looked
against Creighton.
Oh my God, they had size, and they just all their guys were hitting shots, and.
I mean, in both games, between the Creighton game and the BYU game, they looked dominant.
Yeah, they look great, but I think Troy's going to be. He's right on this one. I think Wisconsin's just got too much.
They cover too.
Too much size, and I think it's hard to go against Troy Hall in this one. Badgers.
Jimmy Robinson. Oh, the Big Ten's a fraud. The Big Ten's a fraud. Remember you saying that? The Big Ten's a fraud. The Big Ten's a fraud.
Big Ten doesn't look bad. I mean,
Big Ten's got Michigan State,
Michigan.
Wisconsin, and Michigan left. 3 teams. That's a tie for the most in the country.
What's the second? I mean, what else is up there? Oh, it's the SEC?
I think the Pac-12 has UCLA, Arizona, Stanford.
Oh, that's right. That's it.
And then I think you've got
the SEC's got 3.
with Florida,
Tennessee,
Kentucky, and Tennessee. So you've got 3 conferences with 3 in there.
There you go.
That's amazing.
Moving on to the Midwest region. These games are going to be played in Indianapolis, Indiana. Wichita State lost to Kentucky 78-66 in a good game. I felt bad for the coach, very emotional. He said it did come down to one play where Wichita didn't make the play and they lose against a Kentucky team where we all said that they looked either inexperienced, they looked immature, they looked what were the other words we were using about this Kentucky team during the regular season? Inconsistent.
Just that's it.
Look at them now. They look like I wouldn't say a championship team, but they look like a very good team.
They look really good.
They look
that was
very
the
good.
best game I've seen them play.
Yeah.
Against Wichita.
Louisville beats St. Louis 66-51. Tennessee beats Mercer 83-63, and Michigan beats Texas 79-65. Kentucky is going to play Louisville. Probably going to be the best game out of all these games here. Let me see here.
I don't know. Virginia, Michigan State looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, it looks good too. Yeah, but everybody's going to be watching that. That Louisville-Kentucky game is going to be a good game.
Patino's playing his old team.
Yeah. Okay, give us a point spread in that game, Kentucky and Louisville.
Patino's favored by 4.5.
Like that, Troy?
Unfortunately, I like the favorite again to cover and win. Louisville over Kentucky. It's a revenge game. Kentucky's already beat them by 7 on December 28th. I like Louisville's defensive pressure, cause some turnovers, and win this game.
Theo Garcia, Louisville, Kentucky. 4.5, Louisville.
I got Louisville in my bracket. I'm going Louisville.
After what I saw against Wichita State, I still like Louisville. I'll take Louisville laying the 4.5. Johnny Pallett.
I'll make it a foursome. I'll go with Louisville.
Laying the 4. All right.
The next foursomes, when are we going golfing?
Good point. Good question. Tennessee and Michigan. Like I said, Tennessee beat Mercer and Michigan beat Texas. What is the point spread on that game, Michigan-Tennessee?
Michigan is a 2.5-point favorite.
Michigan a 2.5-point favorite. Troy Hall.
This looks like a very questionable matchup for Michigan. I'm going to take them, though. I'm going to take them -2. I'm taking the favorite again over Tennessee. Tennessee's awfully big down low, and they grab boards. All favorites. I don't know if I have any upsets in any of my picks.
You don't.
Going chalk with everything.
Would you say? Would you say I was? Well, you'd say UConn's a upset over.
UConn.
Yeah, I was
UConn. That's it.
7 over a 3.
No. We're going point spreads here.
Yeah, well, either way, they're 2-point dogs.
Because Michigan State beating Virginia is technically an upset because it's a 4 over a 1, but Michigan State's favored.
Yeah.
Right. But I like Michigan because I think they are going to keep hitting their shots. If they're not hitting their shots, they're going to lose because Tennessee, they grab boards like no other. They rebound the ball very well. They've got bigs. Michigan's not going to have too much of an answer defensively for those bigs. But I just think Michigan's offense, when the movement they get off the ball and the way the coach gets those guys in position for shots, I think they're going to get good looks against Tennessee, and I think they're going to drain them, and that's why they're going to win. But if they are not hot, they're in trouble in this one.
Would you say Tennessee had 2 cupcake teams, Massachusetts and Mercer?
I would say Tennessee had a really favorable matchup against Mercer, but man, I was impressed with the UMass. But before that, Iowa's a solid team. I can't believe they're in a damn playoff game, and you got a team like Weber State and these other teams that aren't in play-in games.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it still, why it's not like that. But yeah, no, I think Iowa was just their most difficult game, and it was the play-in game.
Yeah. Then Michigan beat Warford, and they beat Texas. So you said you like Michigan.
I like Michigan. I think they're gonna hit their shots. If they don't hit their shots, they're gonna be one and done. They're not gonna be getting offensive boards against Tennessee. They gotta hit them.
Pallett, Michigan, Tennessee.
Michigan.
I like Michigan too.
I like Tennessee, man.
Tennessee?
They look dominant in
It's a
these
good
3
pick.
games.
What's the spread?
It's
Tennessee's
Michigan
getting
giving 2.5.
2.5. Okay.
I like Tennessee. Their size is unbelievable. They seem to be hitting their stride, and they're not just big. They're wide.
Yeah,
They're super athletic.
This is a team that beat Virginia by 30 points, I think, earlier in the season.
I think so.
They are explosive. You got to hit your shots against them, and obviously Virginia was in that game, or you're not going to get a second chance.
They play a style where if your offense is not going, you're dead.
Yeah.
Because they got everything else. Offensively, they're decent.
Thing is, Michigan's got the guys to drain the shots. They've got them.
All right. When Tennessee went up against Virginia, they won 87-52.
87. Wow.
Yeah, they put a beat down on Virginia.
All right, recapping Troy Hall's picks. Here we go. Florida, Stanford, Michigan State, UConn, Arizona, Wisconsin, Louisville, and Michigan. Again, Florida, Stanford, Michigan State, UConn, Arizona, Wisconsin, Louisville, and Michigan. Real quick before we go to break, surprises. What players having the name? Give me a name of a player that's having a great tournament so far.
Adrian Payne, Michigan State, dominant first game. I think 41 points and 18 boards for that guy from Michigan. And if anyone hasn't read the article about him and his upbringing, what that kid's been through in his life and what he's doing now with it, they should Google that one up about Adrian Payne from Michigan State. It's pretty remarkable.
Anybody else is having deal? You know anybody else having a better tournament than this Adrian Payne?
Well, Scotty Wilbeck in Florida's been really on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, not only in this tournament, in the SEC tournament.
All right. Surprise teams losing. We already talked about Syracuse, Creighton, Kansas, Duke, Wichita State. What would you say Wichita State was a surprise? Them losing? Nobody had them going in the Final Four.
That's not true.
I'm not saying
I think a lot of people did.
You think so?
Yeah. They thought this team was better than last year's team that reached the Final Four.
All right. Okay. So that was another surprise team that lost. Surprise teams that are winning: Stanford, UConn, Tennessee, Kentucky. Out of those 4 teams I just mentioned, Troy, give me a team there that you think
Stanford is the biggest surprise.
That's what I said. Yes. So Stanford's a big surprise
to me. I could have seen them getting past New Mexico, but I figured Kansas would take them out. I figured Kansas would bomb them out with their shooting, but nope.
Stanford, UConn, Tennessee, Kentucky.
I think Dayton's the biggest surprise.
Dayton, I forgot about Dayton. What the hell am I saying?
Dayton, beating Ohio State after Ohio State's ducked them for years, and going in there and beating Cuse the way they did. I mean, they were close games, both games.
3 of us predicted their win over Ohio State, though.
But none of us thought they were going to beat Cuse.
No, but I was worried. I always am, though.
Johnny Pallett, Stanford, UConn, Tennessee, Kentucky, Dayton, surprise team.
I'd say Stanford.
Stanford, yeah. I think nobody picked Stanford to go to the Sweet 16. I don't think anybody did.
No, I don't think anybody.
I didn't think Stanford was going to beat New Mexico the way New Mexico was playing down the stretch.
All right. So those are Troy Hall's picks. We'll get into more college basketball a little later during the show, but we'll get into some NBA when we come back, and then we'll talk a little bit of what's going on in the golf world, and then a little tennis too to end the show. So keep it locked. SoFlowRadio.com is the website.
Stay
tuned in.
Tuned in to John Etch and the Sports Heads.
John Edge and the Sports Heads
on SoFlowRadio.com.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When you're ready to actually lose weight safely and steadily while being monitored by a physician, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson is there for you. The family medicine practice was established by her father in 1956 and continues as a medical practice that now specializes in weight reduction. Dr. Kim Jacobson joined the practice 20 years ago as both a family medicine practitioner and weight loss specialist. The Weight Loss Clinic utilizes a combination of appetite suppression medication and vitamins to produce great results, usually 3 to 4 pounds per week for most patients. Now you can change your lifestyle while still enjoying your own food, just less of it. They offer a choice of 2, 3, or 4-week plans. So whether you just need to lose a few pounds or a lot, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson can help you. They're located at 5454 Northeast 4th Avenue in Miami, just 2 blocks west of 54th Street and Biscayne Boulevard. Call them at 305-751-0091. They'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. That's 305-751-0091. Get started on a beautiful beautiful new body today with Dr. Kim Jacobson and the Weight Loss Clinic.
Do you have troubled skin, acne? With Proactive, you can heal your acne and help prevent new breakouts. Right now, in this radio area, we're looking for just 50 people with moderate acne to demonstrate exactly how fast Proactive works. The first 50 callers who qualify can try Proactive risk-free for 60 days.
Call 800-388-7152, 800-388-7152, 800-388-7152.
Moms of America, stand up and stop taking abuse from your kids. I'm Janet Lehman, co-creator of the Total Transformation Program. We created the Total Transformation to help parents with difficult child behavior. Now I'm giving it away free.
Call now for details, 800-349-8441, 800-349-8441, 800-349-8441, 800-349-8441.
Welcome to today's lottery drawing. And today's winning numbers are not yours, not yours, and another number that's not yours. And the final number is not yours.
When it comes to having money, don't rely on luck. Brew your own coffee at home instead of buying that latte. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering it. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Welcome to the Moses Love Hour, filled with friends, live music, and conscious living. Take some time and come on the adventures aboard Mission Control. From the I Love Yoga studios in Dania Beach, Florida, USA. Streaming live
Sunday nights from 9 to 10
on SoFloRadio.com.
Back to John Etch and the Sports Heads
on SoFloRadio.com.
You want either Wiggins or Parker if they come out, because I think that they're the type of players that could add to the Laker offense. They're great and outstanding one-on-one players, but also they make their teammates better. So I would say one or two of those guys would be wonderful. And the big man from Kansas, too, would be great as well.
Yo, why don't you call your man Fifth, man, see what's up for the night, man. So, yeah, he probably...
Infamous mob, M.O.B.B. Can't be touched, can't you see? Nate, you man, cause me, I'm gonna do my thing. You know I do my thing. I'ma get my drink on and party like it's okay. Trust me, man, it's okay. Bounce with me in slow-mo. When they hear the kid in the house, they're like, oh no.
All right, we're back. Sports Head Show on SoFloRadio.com. A couple games in the NBA tonight. Johnny Pallett gives an update. Toronto and Cleveland.
101-97 Cleveland, 1:54 to go in the fourth quarter.
Portland, after they lost against our Heat last night by 2 points.
Our Heat.
I'm a Heat fan, man. Come
No,
on.
you're not. You're a Bulls fan.
Portland at Orlando.
Portland lost again.
No.
This time to the Magic. 20-52 Magic. 95-85. So they're in no LaMarcus Aldridge, but they're in a free fall. That's for sure.
I thought about putting a wager on Portland after losing last night here in Miami, then going up to Orlando. Orlando's lost 9 in a row.
Good thing you didn't.
Yeah. Oklahoma City is at Dallas tonight. Should be a good game.
You got just about halftime at 60-59 Thunder.
Close game, 60-59.
Close game.
And then tonight, I think that's a 10:30 start. The New York Knickerbockers are at the Lakers.
Right,
The
you're
Lakers.
correct. 10:30 start. So
two terrible teams.
And we just heard what Magic Johnson was saying, that the Lakers would like to have Wiggins. Who else did he say? Jabari Parker
and Joel Embiid.
And we were just saying that the Lakers are picking what? I'm not picking, but we don't know yet. But
they have the sixth worst record in the NBA.
Six.
By the way, that puts you in a spot to get the top 3 picks, because those top 3 picks are determined in the in the lottery, then everything else is just based off record.
Right. And the worst team in the league is the Philadelphia 76ers. They lost
yeah, but it's
20.
not-
How many is that, John? 24 in a row? 25? All right, I lost count.
Oh, we'll pull up the number.
Yeah,
25.
25 in a row. Yeah,
25.
They don't have the worst record in the NBA.
They don't have the worst record in the NBA.
Milwaukee does.
Milwaukee does.
Milwaukee's bad. They're not tanking bad. They're just bad.
Jeez, the record is Cleveland, right? 27 in a row. What's the record? How many losses in a row in the NBA?
Let's find out.
I thought it was 20 something, 28, 29, or something like that. But wow, when is the next time the Sixers will win a game? 25. How do you motivate a team after you lost 25 games in a row? What do you say to your players, Troy, after you lost 25 games in a row?
Keep losing so we get Wiggins.
That's right. Keep losing. We're gonna get a real good dude next year.
I'm curious to hear their
The reasoning?
their pregame speech by the I don't even know the name of the coach, but
Don't hit a shot.
I want to know who shows up to a game with a 25-game losing streak in Philadelphia
Their
and
head-
pays $9 for a beer.
Their head coach is Brett Brown. Does anybody know who he is?
never heard of him. I think he came from
The Spurs.
Spurs, yeah, he's Popovich disciple.
Yep, but obviously not good enough.
Well, maybe there's a method to the madness there. We'll see what happens next year. They'll get the
Don't they
shaft.
have
3 picks, 3 first-rounders this draft.
The Sixers?
Yeah, Sixers.
Phoenix gets a bunch.
Wow.
I think they get a lot of picks coming up. Sixers. We got to look that up.
And do you guys agree with that the ping pong thing? You know, if you're the worst team, you get the more ping pongs, and you still could get shafted for not getting the number 1 pick because your ping pong might not fall. Do you think the worst team in the league should get the number 1 pick no matter what? No? That's what they're doing in the NFL.
Yeah, but I don't see tanking in the NFL the way I do in the NBA. I mean, I could be blind to it in the NFL, but I see the teams
Agreed
that they look like they're about to lose every single game, and
You're
all of
right.
a sudden they win.
Yeah, you're right.
Because they go out there and they compete. In the NBA, they have these NBDL guys in there.
I think it's different in the NFL because, number one, there are far fewer games. And when you're tanking a game, you only get 16. The 16-game season, obviously. You only get 16 chances to prove yourself. You're playing for contracts. When you throw a game, that's 1 of 16. When you're throwing when you're just slacking in an NBA game, it's 1 of 80-something.
82.
The Sixers have
82 games.
2 first-round picks.
So it's not really that big a deal. Two first-rounders?
Yeah, the Sixers have their first-rounder, and they have
Who
the
else?
Pelicans' first-rounder, but it's top 5 protected.
Well,
but that Pelicans one probably won't be top 5. They keep coming up with these miscellaneous wins.
Yeah, they'll have
These
some
tricky wins
against the
somehow.
Heat.
Right.
Right.
Who did they beat the other night? They beat someone else.
They
too.
beat the Heat.
They beat the Heat.
And then before another one though. They got 2 wins over. They might have beat Indiana.
I don't know. But speaking
They
about
beat somebody.
Speaking of the Heat, they win.
beat the Nets.
The Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, the Red Hot Nets. There you go. You're NBA, Troy Hall. You're keeping up with the NBA, right?
You know some stuff.
I keep up with everything. I just can't watch it. Just sickens me.
The Heat, they were
defense.
at home yesterday. They beat the Portland Trailblazers 93-91. LeBron had he had 32 points
And a layup at the end to win the game.
right? And there was a block shot by Chris Bosh.
Yep.
That blocked. Is it Lillard, whatever his name is?
Damian Lillard.
Good player.
Lillard, yeah.
Good player.
Very good player.
Yeah, very good player. And let's see, no LaMarcus Aldridge, no D Wade. So when the Heat come into that game,
Wade didn't play in that game?
No, Wade didn't play.
No, he didn't play.
Wow.
Ankle soreness.
Ankle
At
soreness.
least that's what the Heat said.
He's supposed to play tomorrow, though, against the Pacers.
Yeah, he's
Supposed
playing. Yeah, he's playing. I'm reading it right now. Heat Wade expected to play against the Pacers, which is tomorrow on Wednesday. But the Heat come in with 7-11 out of their last 11 games. They lost 7 games. Concerns. I know Dio's gonna say no concerns that they're gonna be playing. They're just playing to get to the playoffs. But I'm curious to find your opinion, Pallet. Are you concerned with this Heat team? We were saying Battier. These guys are not even showing up. LeBron James is already questioning the passion, the lack of concentration in the locker room. Is he just saying that, or he has a point in him, in his comments that he made after that loss, that terrible loss against the Pelicans the other night.
Well, I'm concerned. I don't think the role players for the Heat are pulling their weight. Norris Cole's been. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I think he shot better last year, and Badio certainly was better last year. So, I think the big three probably to get full effort on defense probably got to have them in a playoff game. But it just seems like the role players this year. Although Allen has stepped it up the last couple of weeks.
I think the Birdman's probably the only one that's coming off the bench.
Yeah, the Birdman was.
I like Odin.
The Birdman
He
was
looked good yesterday.
Tremendous last night.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Odin, it still looks a little slow to react on defense, but he had a couple of dunks last night. I mean, he had perfect passes. I think.
Yeah. LeBron gave him a nice one.
Yeah,
under the
and
basket
I
there.
think somebody else. I mean, he had 2 dunks and so I think the Heat they're a little bored with the regular season. I don't see him winning tomorrow night, although the Pacers are in a funk too. But I don't think the Heat minds if they're number 2 seed. I think, but I'm worried about the role players and they probably can get past Indiana, but I don't see them getting past the Spurs with poor play from
I don't see
from
the Spurs making
the
the finals.
I think the Spurs are going to definitely be in the finals.
Who said the Spurs are going to win? Fat Man Barkley said that.
I don't care.
Somebody just mentioned
Colin Coward.
Colin Coward said the Spurs are going to win it all. Yeah. LeBron James back spasms the other day. He had a twisted his
It's
ankle.
not back spasm. That's I don't want to play.
Well, according to the papers, it's back spasms.
I think LeBron's looks a little worn out. I'd give him
Yeah,
4 or
it's a day
5
of-
games off.
It's a day of rest. That's all it was. It wasn't back spasm. It's just, he plays a lot of minutes.
Well,
He did have a sprained ankle. He stepped on.
Was it Chris Bosh's?
I think Bosh's ankle the other night. So,
But the day that he didn't play, was it against the Pelicans?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it against the Celtics?
I think it was the Pelicans. Oh no, maybe not.
And they were saying that he didn't play because of his back.
Yeah. They had to get. Yeah, that was the Boston game.
Yeah.
They got to give him a day off. He needs days off. These guys can't play 82 games. I mean, it's a grueling schedule. Especially how many back-to-backs the Heat have played recently. They had a back-to-back with Cleveland and Boston, then they had the back-to-back with Memphis and New Orleans. I mean, they lost both ends of those back-to-backs. I mean, that's tough.
Well, Johnny, you just mentioned that the Heat don't mind being number 2 in the Eastern. I disagree. I think they need that number 1 seed. I know Dio's already shaking his head. No. I think the Heat need that. They need the home field advantage. I think
court
and the home court advantage, and the record proves it. They play very well at home, even though they haven't been showing it these last couple games.
Their record on the road is not bad.
Well, they lost 12 games. Well, how many games have they lost already?
On the road?
Well, altogether.
On the altogether, they're 48-21.
48-21. They lost how many games on the road? Like
15.
15. So obviously
they got the 5th best road record in the NBA.
Yeah. So who's coming? We got Indiana, Miami. Who's third?
Is it third overall?
Yeah, I think it's
Toronto.
Toronto.
In the East?
Look at Troy Hall. Jeez, these stats are
incredible.
This guy says he's not an NBA.
Toronto, then Chicago, then
Chicago.
Brooklyn, then Washington, then Charlotte.
Charlotte?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then Atlanta rounds up your 8.
Atlanta. Other news in the NBA, looks like Westbrook's knee's okay. A lot of you were saying that. Was it last week we were saying that the Westbrook, the team's playing worse with Westbrook on the team?
Yes.
So
Westbrook is not the point guard Kevin Durant needs.
So what does Kevin Durant need? He just
A
needs
distributor.
Just a distributor.
Not just the distributor.
You're saying Westbrook takes too many
Yes.
takes shots away from Durant.
Yes. And not just shots away from Durant, inefficient shots.
Yeah. Now what's this thing going on with Shaq? You brought this up earlier, Troy. That he's getting some. Let's see here. I wrote it down here. Shaq under investigation for an assault. against some guy that works with him at the TNT studios or something like that.
Yeah, almost a year ago, May 2013, something happened, I think, and I guess it said he punched him or tackled him in the back or something. Punched and tackled him in the back.
Playing around, or was it serious?
I don't know. They're saying it was Shaq's people are saying it's horsing around, and the other guy's saying not quite. My guess is they were horsing around, but Shaq punched and basically tackled and landed on him. My guess is this guy, really got hurt by it. He had to go to surgery, I guess, is what the article said, and they knew once he was hurt that they should probably press charges. Otherwise, they can't get any money. That's my guess.
Wow. Dude, what do you got?
According to Sergeant Greg Lyon with the Atlanta Police Department,
the
co-worker, which is in this case is Robert Williams, alleged Shaquille O'Neal tackled him to the ground, causing injury to his back while they were at work at Turner Studios. The investigation was initially handled by the Zone, and as that investigation deepened, it was transferred to the Complex Case Squad. At the conclusion of their investigation, we'll have their findings and we'll go forth from there. Whether charges will be filed, whether it will be reviewed by the DA's office.
Imagine that guy tackling you, Johnny Pollitt, from behind. Not even, you're just walking down the hall and all of a sudden you see Big Shaq just tackling you.
Anything Shaq does from behind seems painful.
My guess it's just about money because it wasn't reported right away.
Right away, yep.
My guess is once he realized he was hurt, he wanted
or fired
his medical stuff paid for.
Yeah.
But if he wanted to report it, he probably would have that day, right?
He reported the incident to Turner Security and received medical care.
But he did not file charges
right.
at all. So,
Johnny Pat, going back to the Heat, what LeBron said a couple of days ago, saying about the passion and lack of concentration. What happened?
Yeah, Shaq's attorney messed this up for him, though. This was nothing more than horseplay. No one intended for anyone to get injured. Basically saying, Shaq tackled him. He injured him. That ain't assault. That was horseplay. Guess what, buddy?
It doesn't matter.
By the law, that's assault.
Right.
Greg Cody wrote an article today in the paper about Spoelstra, and we heard already LeBron James questioning the passion, the lack of concentration of the team. Does it all go back to the coach? When you talk about passion and lack of concentration, no motivation, it has to go back to the coach, right?
No, I like Spo. I mean, I think it just boils down to the Heat are just, I think, waiting for the playoffs, and they're just not going to give full effort and full energy to the regular season games, and I think
watch them go up tomorrow and beat Indiana.
Yeah, maybe I think the Heat probably feel like all year that they can sort of turn the switch on, but I think they looked at this season and they just weren't going to expend that much energy in the regular season, and even though they had the 27-game winning streak last year, I think maybe that did take something out of them, and I think they're going to. I don't think it's really a poor reflection on Coach Spoelstra. I think they just felt like they're going to let Wade rest, maybe play 45 games, and then they're going to be ready for the playoffs. And
you think if Pat Riley was still coaching the team, they would be playing like
I think
not playing with passion.
I think that's what why Pat Riley got out of coaching. That with the players. This day and age that he just overworked the players, and so I think that was I think that's why the Heat went to Spoelstra, and they wanted maybe a little more of a players coach, and they didn't want to exert so much energy in the regular season.
I mean, people don't seem to remember that year after they won the championship how bad they were, and that was under Riley. That was not under Spo. I mean, just
the year that when they won 15 games?
No, that was who the hell was that under? The year they won 15 games. That was Riley.
Really?
Yeah. Riley quit at the end of the year. I remember this because he went out scouting for Derrick Rose or Michael Beasley. He stopped coaching in the last couple weeks. He tanked the season.
That was your D Wade was hurt too, wasn't he?
Yes.
Like 80% of the season.
Yeah,
was hurt?
yeah. That wasn't so much as Wade was hurt as ooh, let's get Derrick Rose. This kid looks good. Or if we don't get him, we'll get Beasley. And well, we know how that worked out.
And what's his talk about the new commissioner Adam Silver talking with LeBron James about the sleeves on the uniform? What the hell's going on with that?
I think I don't
Does
know.
LeBron like the sleeves or he
No,
doesn't?
he hates the
every
sleeves.
NBA player hates the damn sleeves.
Why'd they bring those sleeves into the I don't
Jersey
understand.
sales.
Yeah, strictly jersey sales.
They did that strictly for jersey sales.
Yeah, it's a new jersey. People want them. And by the way, what looks better? Would you rather wear an NBA jersey with sleeves or with a tank top, and then every time you move your arm, everybody sees your damn armpits?
I used to wear a T-shirt under there,
Right,
like
but
Pat
this-
Ewing back
but
in the
this
days.
gets rid of that.
Big East.
This
Yeah.
gets rid of that. Or like Doug McDermott at Cream.
He wears the T-shirt under the jersey?
Yeah,
No,
he
he
does.
doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
Is that true, Troy?
What?
McDermott wears a T-shirt under his jersey?
Oh, who cares?
What do you mean? Who cares?
It's true though. Every game he does that.
Lonzo used to wear the
Remember
T-shirt
Georgetown? Yeah, it wasn't just
Pat
Alonzo
Ewing.
and Ewing. They had a guy named Dalton.
Oh, he does. Look at him.
Big guy
It's my
Dalton.
guy, McDermott.
He used to wear it.
He might be the only one that wears a T-shirt under his jersey.
Nah, there's a few.
Name another guy.
I don't know. I couldn't name them, but there's a few. I saw some.
The big guy that you're talking about, the Indian guys. What's his name?
Simbular.
7'5".
Redshirt freshman. He's a partial qualifier. He was going to go to Xavier. Didn't get in academically, so he went to
Oh
New
my
Mexico
God, this
State.
kid is
Oh my God! He does wear the T-shirt under. Look at him.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, T-shirt guy. Good. He's 7'5", 340, and he dropped some pounds.
Is he any good?
He's good. He's quick. He's a freshman, first year playing. He grew up in Toronto, and he's in.
What's with all these damn
Indian
Canadians
heritage. He's got a younger
taking
brother.
over our basketball?
Who's the greatest big time player in your like?
Wait, what?
I'm not saying like 7'5". I'm talking about those big 7'5", like Manute Bol and
Kareem.
Who was the other guy?
Kareem?
No,
Mirasan.
Kareem wasn't 7'5".
Remember
Kareem 7'5".
Mark Mirasan.
Mirasan.
George
from,
Mirasan.
George
Mirasan.
Mirasan.
Yeah.
Who else was one of those big?
You know,
goofy
Well,
looking.
geez, wasn't
Yao Ming.
Eaton. Remember
wasn't Chamberlain
Eaton from
7'2"?
Utah.
Mark
Kareem
Eaton.
7'2".
Eaton.
I thought.
Yeah, I guess you could.
Mark
Kareem.
Eaton, I think, was 7'5".
Was
Sean Bradley. Remember
Sean
Sean
Bradley, 7'6".
The only thing
Yeah,
I remember
for the
about
7'7".
Sean Bradley
For the
is getting
Mavericks.
dunked all over
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Tracy McGrady. Mark Eaton 7'4".
7'4".
Wasn't Wilt 7'2"?
Yeah, he was 7'2". Yeah.
But he wasn't one of those.
And back then, it looked like he
Alan
was
Ogg.
probably
Remember Alan
8
Ogg?
foot.
I'm talking about one of those big players that goofy players. Not like Wilt. Wilt was a good player.
Alan Ogg was
Kareem
goofy.
was a good player. Yeah, Alan Ogg was a
Al
goofy
Tal
player.
was Alan Ogg.
Look up Alan Ogg.
Former Heater for a year or
7'2",
two.
240.
7'2", 240. Manute Bol was 7'6" or something like that.
7'7", I think.
He was so skinny with long.
Ralph
7'7",
Sampson.
201.
Sampson.
Ralph Sampson,
Damn,
yeah.
Manute Bol was 7'7" and only 200 pounds? Holy crap, that's skinny.
Yeah. Skin and bones.
He played with the Heat one season.
Sean Bradley was one of the.
Didn't he shoot threes, Manute Bol?
He did.
I think he did.
Crazy threes. Sean Bradley. He was one of those. He liked to irritate you. He was always
Yeah.
fouling hard. I remember he got into a fight with somebody. I forgot who.
Sean Bradley, 7'6", 276.
Wow. 7'6", 276.
If he was 276, that was at the end of his
George
career.
Mirasan, 7'7", 315.
There he is, George Mirasan.
Yao Ming, 7'6", 311. Wow, 311, really?
Yeah, Yao Ming was huge.
How great do you think Yao Ming would have been if no injuries?
He was phenomenal, man. He was really good.
Good
he was
footwork.
Crazy skilled big man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when he was getting it going, I mean, he had 1 year with, when he was healthy, he had one full 82-game season, and he averaged 17.5 points, 9 boards, and shot 52% from the field.
How many blocks? He wasn't really a shot blocker. was
Not
he?
true. He had, for his career, he
Couple
averaged
blocks.
2 blocks a game.
Yeah.
Not bad. I mean,
How about Mutombo? We forgot Mutombo.
Oh,
yeah.
Mutombo.
He's not that big, though.
Mutombo was 7'2", 245.
7'2", yeah.
He is pretty big.
Troy, we were talking about this earlier at the golf course. We were talking about how Greg Oden.
Wow.
Talking about Greg Oden.
Mutombo averaged 4.5 blocks a game in a season.
Wow. Yeah, he was good.
Holy
And how good Greg Oden was in college, and nobody expected the injuries that he was going to have.
Not true. A lot of people did.
Troy Hall. I think you were saying that you were Mutombo. Remember when Jordan dunked on him and he gave him the
Mutombo.
What you were saying?
I don't remember just that. Remember when Jordan, after Mutombo went for a block, he fouled Jordan. So Jordan went up to the line and shot both of his free throws with his eyes closed.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then waved the no at him, and I was like, "Wow."
But when he dunked on him, that was nasty. He went.
Yeah. No, I mean, nobody.
So people were expecting Greg Oden to be injured.
It's unbelievable. He was good.
Remember, he broke his forearm before he went to Ohio State.
I was telling Troy when that
injury
guy
prone his whole.
When he puts his arms up like this, nobody could block his shot.
No.
In the paint yesterday, when LeBron was feeding him in the paint, if that guy was 100%, which he's not 100% right now, if he had great footwork, that guy would be unstoppable.
Well, he does have really good footwork
because he's got good rhythm. He could go left and right. I don't know how good of a shooter he is, but
he needs to get his legs under him.
Yeah,
but he's a very skilled big man, very very powerful big man, explosive at the rim. We saw that yesterday. He had one where he jumped from like outside the paint on the baseline and dunked it like it was nothing.
Is he gonna get a lot of minutes in the playoffs? You think?
I hope so.
Depending on the matchups,
I say 20 to
against
25
Hibbert?
minutes.
Hibbert's soft, man. That guy's soft.
Yes, I agree with you.
He's soft, man. I thought that guy was really good, but
Nope. I knew it at Georgetown. Skilled big man, doesn't have the heart. A lot of these guys, unfortunately, the big man that you wish, that play well, that have the heart, they're just 6'8", 6'9". It's unfortunate. They're just not big, but they play like they were big.
I wouldn't criticize Hibbert too much. I mean, he's been pretty good for him. He's been a very serviceable NBA center.
Yeah.
But I think he was playing in the 80s. I know
he would have been great in the 80s.
No, Hibbert. He
Yeah,
would have been taken out by guys like Hakeem and Ewing.
He's unstoppable against the Heat.
Yeah, but there's no big men in the NBA. That's why he looks good.
Well, then maybe he should get some big men.
No, but think about it.
Maybe you need Sim Boulard
There
to
you
get
go.
in there from New Mexico
The Heat
State.
should get him. The Heat should get him.
If you stick him in the age of the big man in the NBA, do we even know who Roy Hibbert is?
Good point.
I just think he's decent. He's good because
Average,
there's nobody
yeah.
that can cover him.
I think he was worth his draft pick.
Where was he drafted?
He was high. He was top 5, I believe.
He should have done better at Georgetown though.
Johnny Pallet, Matt Every wins at Bay Hill.
He was
Emotional
17th
win.
pick in the NBA.
Well,
Roy Hibbert.
What is
Which
it?
pick?
17th.
That's pretty late.
Yeah.
Because he was
I didn't think it was that
oversized at
late.
Georgetown, and he never did much at Georgetown.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he used to go to the tournament when he was a kid. He grew up in Daytona Beach.
Emotional win, yeah, for him.
Yeah, I mean, he really was his hole in putts there. The
Mr.
last
Golf.
9 holes, Matt Every, and his ball striking was tremendous. I mean, he's got a kind of a weird footwork when he's hitting the ball, but got a nice backswing, and I guess he just does it his way. I mean, his left heel is off the ground at impact, which you don't really see that. with.
Left heel?
You see that with some of the ladies, but yeah.
At impact?
At impact, yeah. He's got both heels off the ground at impact. He's right-handed.
Wow.
I'm going to copy that technique.
And
then
you
No,
better
yeah,
not.
no, yeah. Don't do that one.
But he made the putts, and then Adam Scott was awful there at.
What a choke job, huh? 3-shot lead going into the last day.
He shot 10 under in his opening round.
Yeah, but he shot 70. What did he shoot?
He
last
was
day?
8 strokes ahead after the first 2 rounds.
76 he shot last.
Yeah.
Remember,
last
we
round.
talked about it heading into Sunday? He was having a 4-stroke lead.
Well, he had
Yeah,
a
I mean,
3-shot
his-
lead going into Sunday.
His putting was atrocious there, and
He blamed it all in his short game.
He
said-
did?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
goes in the interview after his round. He blamed everything on the short game and putting. So
Yeah, that really let him down because I think his ball striking was still. I mean, well, he's got the best swing on tour, but he really he was hitting everything to the left. They made a comment on the broadcast that the putter was coming up after the impact up too quickly, and that was throwing it to the left. So I don't know if I agree with that, but whatever. He just could not hole any putts, and I guess that's why he's with the long putter. Although he
won the Masters last year. With
yeah,
long
he's
putter.
been tremendous with the
I thought
long
they were
putter. So
outlawing that
2016. So he's going to have.
He's going to keep going.
I don't know what he's going to do in 2016, but he won't be able to use the. At least he won't be able to anchor it. I think he could use the long putter, but he can't anchor it with his chest. So
Is Adam Scott a player that you think could just turn around and just play pretty good at the Masters, or these like blown leads? They linger on. Or do you think Adam Scott's one of those players that could just put it away and just come back?
I think he's got enough experience, and I think he'll get the putting straightened out. I mean, you got to be a putt great at the Masters, so I don't know if he'll defend, but you got to figure he's going to be up there every week with that ball striking, and that swing is just bulletproof. So I think he'll get the putting straightened out. Whether or not he wins the Masters this year,
Who knows?
There's quite a few guys that are playing great. So, but I think he'll be up there. I mean, I think I don't think the poor putting though will linger.
Well, someone that's not playing great and also who's not feeling great is Tiger Woods, and he's already telling us that he's questionable for the Masters. Too soon for Tiger. I saw his interview yesterday saying that he's not sure if he's gonna be ready for the Masters, and he's won out of his 14 majors. He's won 4 times out there, Johnny, in Augusta. At Augusta, won 4 Masters. And deal, we were talking about. You were saying earlier how the first time his first major was at Augusta, and he killed everybody. He won it by it's still a record right to this day.
14 strokes.
14 stroke victory.
I think it was an 8-shot victory, but
the first time he won the Masters.
That's my recollection. 97.
What do you win it by, Deal? You're looking up his stats there.
I'm looking it up.
I know it was like a big.
Well, anyway,
he won it by a lot, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he. I mean, that was. Then the next year they tried to make the course Tiger-proof. They put in a bunch of trees. I know on the 15th hole because
and they made it longer too.
I think he hit an 8-iron or a wedge into 15 a couple of times because he would blow it down the right side, and it was just there was no rough and no trees, and so the next year
that's a par 5, right?
12-stroke lead.
12.
12-stroke win. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think he's going to find a way to play, but because I mean everybody wants him to play the Masters. He loves the golf course and
but he's one of those guys. If he's not ready, he's not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
because to skip Arnie's tournament, geez, that's huge. That guy won 7 times out there. 8 times.
Yeah, I mean he just says he's gotten older. He seems to have more ailments, and I think he's got his knee straightened out now. But now his back's been giving him trouble. I know. This started. I think last year or in the U.S. Open, he said his bed had a soft mattress, and that was the first time we heard that he had a back issue.
You can afford it.
Well, wherever he was staying, they blamed it on the hotel bed.
Is it me or is it Tiger Woods just prepping for if it goes bad at the Masters? I told you my back
He has an
hurt.
excuse.
Told you my back hurt.
You think he's that type of guy?
I think he's that type of guy lately.
He just has excuses.
He just seems
for his
to.
bad play?
I mean, come on. Explain the round 3s to me. Explain the round 3s at Doral. Explain the round 3 in the Honda, where he's just phenomenal and looks like Tiger of old, and all of a sudden round 4, my back hurts.
Well, I think these guys are so good. I think they at times they never really blame themselves, and I think that's part of how they get so confident that they can win golf tournaments. And maybe not all the golfers do that, but I know on our college team many years ago we had a guy, and this guy he'd always have an excuse, but he would never blame himself. But the guy would win tournaments because it was the club or there was something else. It was never him, and he just had that belief in himself that and that he would never criticize himself, and he was a heck of a player. So I think that's maybe what Tiger has a little bit of that where he believes so much in himself that he likes to use excuses and not really blame his swing, his putting, even last year his putting was really very inconsistent, but and he would blame that he couldn't get adjusted to the speed of the greens. He never really complained about his stroke or his alignment or anything. It was just there was always maybe an excuse or just a reason for lack of success other than blaming himself.
I still think he, deeply in his heart, he believes that he still could go out there and win tournaments, even catch Jack majors, won or even break that record. But
yeah, well, he's still number one in the world. So,
he's not by much.
Not by much.
Who's number 2 in the world, Dio? Look it up.
Well, Adam Scott. If Adam Scott would have won the last tournament, he would have been number one.
Right,
but
right.
I'm sure he feels like he doesn't maybe even have to hit a shot before the Masters, and if he's there playing and his back feels reasonably good, that he's going to say he's the guy to beat. So, I think. Look at Patrick Reed. He feels like he's top 5 in the world, and he's won 3 tournaments. So, I think at a certain level, everybody feels like they're the best, and so there might be they might have to use an excuse, but in their mind they believe they're the best.
Doesn't that work both ways for Tiger? When it's not going for him, it's something that's not him, and when it's going great, it's not Butch.
Well, I think, again, it's just that maybe he uses selective excuses, but I think in their mind, they're still the best, and it's not going to be that there's something's wrong with their swing or something's wrong with their putting stroke. It's if they are not having success, then it's something other than their ability or their swing. So I think it's part of their belief system that they are the best, and I think you have to have a certain amount of that to be successful on probably in any sport.
Can we here agree or disagree? Is Tiger finished? Yes or no?
No. I think he's. I don't. I think it's if he doesn't win a major this year, then it's going to be tough to catch Jack's record. But I think he'll break Sam Snead's record, and I think he'll have 10 more wins on the PGA Tour. But I don't know if he'll catch. I think he's got to win one major this year to have a chance at Jack's 18 majors.
Troy, is Tiger done in your opinion?
No.
You still think he could win a couple more majors or just win tournaments?
He's not going to catch Jack. He'll catch Sammy.
How about this year? Do you think he's going to win a major this year?
No.
Thank you for your analysis. Deal.
I don't think he'll win a major this year. I just don't see it. If this is the beginning of the year for Tiger, it's going to be a long year. A lot of blaming of the back. A lot of, it's not working out. We see flashes where we see Tiger.
I believe his back is hurting.
I don't know.
I wouldn't think he'd be. He's not.
I don't think it's faking it, but I think it's over. I think it's an exaggeration of an injury. I think when we see him in the round 3 of Doral and in the Honda, where there's not a mention of it at all of the back, because even when he won his U.S. Open against Rocco in that playoff, it was my knee's hurting, but I'm playing through it, and I'm just trying to win this damn tournament. I don't see that. I don't see that fire the same way I saw Tiger before. When's the last time we saw Tiger smile or pump his fist or go nuts? I mean, the last time I saw him smile was when he hit that 90-foot putt in Doral, and that was almost like, damn, I can't believe I hit that shot. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I hit that shot.
But I need a back injury is two different.
Very different.
Yeah.
I think it's legit. I think his injury is legit. I think he's got to get himself fixed. And
well, I think Dio is right that he doesn't seem like he enjoys playing like he once did, because he doesn't really. You don't really see the smile, and I think the fist pump is he just really hasn't done much in the big tournaments, and I think that's when he gets excited, then he goes with the fist pump. So you just haven't seen that he's really done or put rounds together. That has been troubling the last few years, that he just doesn't seem to be able to put 4 rounds together, and when he was playing his best, I mean, that was especially when he would win tournaments. I mean, he'd put 4 rounds together, and certainly if he was in the ahead, he wouldn't lose the lead. So that is I would say a troubling stat over the last few years. He just doesn't seem to be able to put rounds together, and has been inconsistent with putting, and then I think he does have a back problem, but he does seem to mention all of his ailments, maybe a little more than in past when he was younger.
All I know is that El Tigre, when he wears his green jacket, is going to thank John Pat.
Oh, there's a good documentary coming out. It looks like April 13th on the Golf Channel, the Arnold Palmer documentary.
Yeah, that does look tremendous. A lot of old footage, and Dio will see the king.
The king
in his
Arnold
heyday.
Palmer. Barcelona beat Real Madrid
Ronald
yesterday.
Palmer.
Messi had 3 goals. You're a big soccer guy. Did you see that match yesterday?
didn't get to watch. No.
El Clásico.
Nadal, Serena Williams.
Wait, that was yesterday or Sunday?
I think it was yesterday. It was Sunday. It was Sunday. Yeah.
Real Barcelona, the Clásico.
I was at the Sony Open yesterday. Nadal won. Serena won. She beat Kiki Vandeweghe's niece.
And who are your 2 winners? Who are you picking, Etch?
Nadal, because he's never won here.
And the women?
Serena, I guess.
All right, he's going out on a limb, Troy.
All right, thanks for logging on, tuning in. That's it for us. We're out of here. The Sports Heads and SoFloRadio.com. Peace.
Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.